In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to level up your 2D animations by paying attention to the small details that most people overlook. G'day, I'm Garry Pye. I've been working with Cartoon Animator now for a very long time, and I've made a lot of animations, but most of the animations I make are only short clips that are designed to promote the content that I make. So I wanted to give myself a challenge to create a more substantial animation, something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, something that tells a story. So I gave myself 2 weeks to create the animated film Fetch, and I used every tool that Cartoon Animator has at my disposal to make the best quality animation I could make. Now what I want to do is to take you behind the scenes and show you how I made Fetch and show you how you can use the tools of Cartoon Animator to really level up your 2D animation. So come with me, let's have a look. In this animation, Clang innocently throws a stick for his pet dog in the park, but the dog retrieves a stick of dynamite and Clang has only a matter of seconds to defuse the explosive situation. I prefer writing plot points rather than drafting out entire storyboards because it gives me the chance to be a little bit more spontaneous, to go off script and take the animation into any direction I want at any given time. During my time with Cartoon Animator, I've designed and rigged over 500 characters. Cartoon Animator's user-friendly templates offer a solid foundation for character building while allowing complete design flexibility. Whether it's a character's shape or size, the possibilities are endless. In this project, I was keen to feature one of my favourite characters, Clang, from the Alien Squad series. Clang, a G3 vector-based character with a 360 head, offers seamless rotation for enhanced animation. With Cartoon Animator, I really focused on customizing mouth and eye sprites, designing over 55 mouth shapes and ensuring maximum expressiveness in his character animation. Clang's energetic, dog-like pet was an adaptation of one of my Bonkers characters. By transforming him into a fuzzy ball of fur and removing the arms and legs, I not only achieved the look I wanted, but also streamlined the animation process. The aim here was to show CTA users that by paying attention to the smaller details, the overall result is of a lot higher standard. This story required having the dog retrieve the stick, drop it, and then watch Clang pick it up seamlessly. To do this, I was going to have to do more than just link a prop to Clang's hand. He was going to have to hold the stick in his hand in a believable way. So I created a number of individual props of Clang's hand, which I was able to replace with his original hand. Now I could switch between hand sprites so Clang could grab the stick in a convincing way. Another thing I wanted to do with Fetch was to give Clang a sense of urgency and panic in his motions. Rather than using pre-made motions, this animation required me to keyframe everything except the walk cycle. Swift transitions between full-body keyframes were crucial to maintain clarity in Clang's movements. But Cartoon Animator gives me total control over every body part and keyframe, so that with attention to detail, I can produce the results I want. My first step in any project is scene setup. I import fully layered PSD files as scenes, setting the depth of field for each layer to create a parallax effect during camera movement. My priority when starting any new project is blocking out basic character movement, starting with the arms and legs and the overall position of the character on screen. I can lay out a character's basic movement over 3,000 frames and then return to frame 1 to refine details like hand gestures, eye expressions, and head turns. With Cartoon Animator, it's a gradual process of building on a character's performance, allowing fast and easy adjustments when required. After blocking out basic character motion, I dive in to my favourite part of animating, character animation. With Cartoon Animator, I get total control over every nuance of my character's performance, from the turn of their head and the focus of their eyes to the shape of their mouths and their eyebrow. The key here is the more attention to detail, the more realistic your character's performance will be. Cartoon Animator operates on a cutout puppet system for 2D animation, where character parts move around pivot points. Tools like freeform deformation and spring bones play a crucial role in breathing life into characters, creating a smooth and realistic animation experience. Creating custom 360 heads for characters is easy in Cartoon Animator's Composer mode, offering complete control over the design and movement of each face part. To me, this feels much like crafting a hand puppet. After blocking out the head motion, I return to frame 1 to start layering my animation. I focus on individual face parts, employing tools like transform and deform to alter their shape and position. Paying particular attention to the finer points of movement enhances the expressiveness of a character's performance and makes your 2D animation more professional looking. Keyframing eye movement ensures precision, allowing your character to focus exactly where you want. This method of working extends to various eye sprites, enabling quick and effortless expression changes during animation. My aim is to always maximize the expressiveness of my characters, so the goal here was to make Klang's performance exaggerated and over the top. This is where Cartoon Animator's Deform tool proves invaluable, as it provided me with total control over shaping Klang's body parts like his mouth. A valuable tip for achieving realistic character animation is to keep all the parts of your character moving. It's quite common in modern animation to only move the parts of the character that need to be moved for efficiency. However, for me, I love to tweak all of the individual character motions and parts. For instance, when Klang raises one arm, his shoulder lifts, the torso bends slightly for balance, and the opposing arm lowers to offset the shoulders. One challenge I set for myself in this animation was to incorporate a lot of interaction between the character and the prop. The specific challenge here was figuring out how to convincingly make Klang hold the stick or dynamite in his hand. To do this, I created a number of separate images of the hand holding the prop and imported them into Cartoon Animator. Then I simply link the new image to the original hand and make the original hand invisible. This way, when the character moves his arm, the new prop moves with it. The process for having the dog character carry the stick and dynamite in his mouth followed a similar approach. I created an additional sprite for the character's mouth and incorporated it into the character rig. In the final stages of my animations, I set up my actors' hand gestures. Cartoon Animator offers characters two hand options. First, sprite hands allow you to seamlessly swap between pre-drawn hand gestures built into your character. For a more advanced approach to generating hand poses, Cartoon Animator offers bone hands. These are fully rigged hands with their own bone structure, allowing for articulation and the creation of hand gestures using preset templates or manual adjustments of each finger bone for precise control. Cartoon Animator provides full camera control, enabling dynamic movements such as panning, zooming, and rotating at any speed. Layering scene elements with varied Z-axis values adds depth to the scene, enhancing the overall viewing experience. Camera cuts not only make a story more engaging, but also serve as an effective strategy to break a longer animation into smaller files. With the introduction of Cartoon Animator 5, a variety of new tools have elevated 2D animation, making the animation process much more professional. The capability to work with vector files in Cartoon Animator 5 brings several advantages, such as the ability to zoom in much closer to characters without any loss of quality. Additionally, this update gives you control over color management, allowing animators to change colors as needed and create entirely new character looks from a single actor. I applied spring bones to Klang's head, giving him a jelly-like motion as he moves, and also added them to the antenna on his rocket pack, providing an extra touch of subtle movement. Cartoon Animator controls their movement based on parameters set by you, and you can effortlessly add spring bones to any character or prop yourself. Cartoon Animator 5 introduces another powerful tool, freeform deformation, offering the ability to apply squash and stretch to your entire character. This feature enhances the final 2D animation, making it resemble traditional hand-drawn animation rather than a cutout puppet. Whether you want subtle motion or wildly exaggerated moves, freeform deformation allows you to manually apply squash and stretch to characters and props. The key to making your 2D animations more professional with Cartoon Animator is to think outside the box. The ability to take what the software gives you and then use those tools more creatively. For instance, I had the idea of capturing a quick shot of Klang turning to the camera with his body following his head. So to achieve this shot, I approached it by repurposing the 360 head model. Setting up the layers for the body, similar to creating a head, ensured that the parts would move into position correctly as the body turned and rotated. I applied the same process to create the UFO model. Employing the 360 head model once again, I transformed it into the UFO. This allowed me to rotate and turn the UFO in any direction, creating the illusion of a 2D prop moving in three-dimensional space. One of my favorite Cartoon Animator developers and animators is Declan Walsh from Dex Art. For the final UFO explosion, I enlisted Declan's expertise to achieve a traditional animated effect. Declan rose to the challenge and delivered an incredible frame-by-frame sequence of the UFO exploding. You can use a similar approach in Cartoon Animator by creating your own animated props. Simply import a sequence of frames, and using Collect Clip, you can animate them at the press of a button. Reallusion consistently updates new tools and features to Cartoon Animator with free updates to the software between versions. New tools such as vector scaling, color management, spring bones, and freeform deformation give users much more power to create professional-looking animation. I stay with Cartoon Animator because it allows me to create animation quickly, enjoyably, and effortlessly. But it still gives me a wealth of powerful tools to help me fine-tune my animation and get the results I want. Its user-friendly functionality means I'm not weighed down by technical details, allowing me to focus on the creative aspect of animation. With Cartoon Animator, you can level up your 2D animations to a much higher standard.